If we had to talk about players that made me stand up and or put my hands on my head in disbelief the most throughout all my years as a sports fan, I'm gonna keep it a buck. There's not a lot of names going above Steph Curry. LeBron, I don't know, maybe Mahomes, probably not even, to be honest. Steph was around a good while longer. Messi and Neymar are probably the only other names I'm going with if we talking about pure what the hell did I just watch this. The other night, he was on that shit again. 56 points, 12 threes, half-court heaves, logo pull-ups, the usual nonsense from that demon. We've reached that point where Curry's getting older and performances like this aren't as common anymore. So when he pulls shit like this out, obviously it's very special. However, when we talk about his entire career, his prime, and the way he's viewed as a player and his legacy, I'm not gonna lie, in some ways he's underrated. And I don't know if that's because we're desensitized to it after all these years or if some people are just in denial about the conversations he should actually be in. I was talking to my boys the other day and we were talking about where we got Curry all time, and they talking about if he get one more chip, he might be top 12 or 13. What? I was under the impression that Curry been top 10 since 2022. I'm gonna be real. You mean to tell me there's still people that are iffy on him even being up there? Huh? That's what made me realize just how reluctant we are to truly acknowledge current players relative to past all-time greats. Maybe because we're processing their achievements in the moment, and a lot of past legends have been sensationalized to the point that we think they have this completely untouchable, unreachable status when that really isn't the case. I'm telling y'all right now, there are not 12 players that are better and achieve more overall than Curry in his career. And the downplaying, or maybe not even downplaying, more like the brushing aside of how bonkers he is, needs to stop. So many of his records are laughably unreachable. After that Magic game, he has 26 games with at least 10 threes. Nobody else even has 10. The closest to him is Clay with 9. He obviously has the most three-pointers ever at nearly 4,000. Closest player to him is Harden with over 850 less threes. Both are still playing. Harden is going to retire without coming close, and Lillard is the other closest active player with 1,200 less. Curry is super safe. He's easily going to get to 4,500 before he calls it a day. The career three-point records are great and all, though, but what I really want to go back to is that 2015-16 season, which, yes, is the greatest MVP season in the history of the sport. Yes, over all of MJ's MVP seasons. Yes, over all of LeBron's MVP seasons. And that's not to say Curry is better than either, obviously. That was just simply the best regular season a player ever had. He averaged 30 on 50, 45, 90 shooting splits. But the craziest part about all that is the three-point attempts. There's only 9 players that have had a 50, 40, 90 season in the history of the league. Out of all those 8 other players in 13 total other seasons, the most three-point attempts was Steve Nash in 07 with 381. Not only did Curry shoot 886 threes in 2015-16, he was the only one besides 07 Nash to shoot at least 45% from 3-2. On 886 attempts, bruh. And whole time, the motherfucker couldn't even see right. He ain't even get contacts till like 2019. He averaged 30 while playing less than 35 minutes a game. He sat out 19 fourth quarters and still won the scoring title. 19 fourth quarters. Bro, you can compare that season to literally any other season in league history, and in one way or another, it still looks ridiculous in comparison. I will never forget that Thunder game. I don't think any basketball fan ever will. That's got to be the most iconic regular season game ever, right? What other one is really in that conversation? I mean, maybe Cavs Warriors on Christmas when Kyrie hit that game winner. That's all I got. I'm going to keep it a buck. After that game, there was probably an OKC praying for Curry to be dragged back to the depths of hell where he came from. That crowd was devastated. He was frying them niggas. I was around 12, happy as hell. Not even because I like the Warriors. I was just glad it wasn't us again. He put 54 on us at the Garden on that same day 3 years earlier. We won that game, but ain't nobody give a damn. They was all talking about Curry. Of course, what happened in the finals has kind of permanently scarred that season, but come on, he was playing with that nagging injury. Let's be fair. I think another one of the things that leads to a lot of people not fully giving Steph his props is the fact that his full impact isn't shown on the stat sheet. His gravity is fucking insane. The way he gets guarded compared to every other player in the history of the league is laughable in comparison. For 3 straight years, you had a top 3 scorer in NBA history and arguably the most unguardable player to ever touch a basketball, getting wide open lanes in the easiest buckets he'll ever get in his life, because Steph was drawing the attention of almost every defender on the court. Triple teams with 3 other All-Stars on the same court as you is satanic. It's why you can't really fault him for how much he was struggling early in the season. Clay left. Poole got traded a while ago. His best second scoring option for most of the season so far has been Buddy Hield, bruh. Kuminga nice, but he's missed half the year. Now after Jimmy pulled up, suddenly Curry's shooting the lights out again and they're 7-1 as a duo. And people are going to look at that and try to say that Curry needs stars to be good, but what player in the history of the league has ever faced the kind of defense that Curry faces because of how good he is? Not to mention how much he gets fouled without even getting calls. The only thing that was really hampering his legacy was not having the finals MVP, which was already some bullshit because he should have won it in 2015. Regardless, he deaded that narrative with one of the best finals performances of recent memory. He went on the road down 2-1 and put 43 on their heads to essentially save the series for the Warriors. To me, he hasn't been outside the top 10 since that series. I'm going to keep it a buck. When you add the overall effect he had on the sport since around 2015 and 2016, he's pretty obviously the most influential and impactful basketball player ever if we're talking about how he affects the game on the court and how he changed the overall sport too. Take a look at the three-point attempt numbers of certain players before and after Curry. After 2015, 80's three-point attempts per game jumped from 0.2 to 1.8. After 2015, DeMarcus Cousins' three-point attempts per game jumped from 0.1 to 3.2 before reaching 5 a game the following season. Marc Gasol was leaped from 0.1 to 3.6 after 2016. Al Horford's jumped from 0.5 to 3.1 after 2015. Brook Lopez's jumped from 0.2 all the way to 5.2. Griffin jumped from 0.5 to 1.9 after 2016 and then shot over 5 a game for most of the rest of his career. What do all these guys have in common? These are all centers and power forwards, and Curry made them get in the gym over the course of a couple summers and completely rewire their whole game so they could keep up. The three-point revolution was inevitable. It was always going to happen eventually. Curry and the Warriors just sped up the process to an insane degree to the point that they completely banished certain archetypes and play styles in the NBA. Post-play still hasn't recovered. Whether we're talking about 10 best players ever or 10 greatest players ever, Curry is on both of those lists easily. He has the impact, influence, the championships, and the accolades to comfortably be on a 10 greatest players ever list. When it comes to having the skill to be on a 10 best players ever list, I don't even think that should be a question. Those debates to me are dead and gone. He is stamped and certified.